That's right, guys. We are making quinoa soup, vegan quinoa soup. These are all the ingredients that you guys need. Some baby bella mushrooms, red onions, some green onions, some yellow and green zucchini, and some butternut squash. Right here, some basil. I have a can of garbanzo beans. Make them fresh if you want to. And 1 can of fire roasted diced tomatoes. In the mixing bowl, because I'll also be making my version of a naan bread, I have 2 cups of spelt flour, some oil, about a third, about, I don't know, 3 teaspoons of some avocado oil, some sea salt, and maybe some onion powder in there too. I'm going to add to that 3/4 cup of spring water, mix it up, and make some little flatbreads or naan breads. Let's go ahead and get this soup started. I am seasoning super heavy, so I'm starting out with butternut squash, the red onions, some green onions, lots of sage, lots of cumin, some oregano powder, some onion powder, some cayenne powder, lots of sea salt, a little bit of, lots of achote, that red, that's that achote powder. What else do I have in here? I have, a couple of sprinkles of pinches of ginger powder too. Yep, because I'm not using a bouillon cube, so I'm going to season heavy. I'm probably going to add some coconut sugar too, maybe a little bit more of cayenne. I'm just gonna let this saute for a bit. Let those onions become a bit translucent. Let those flavors get all over that butternut squash. Just let all those flavors do its thing, and those veggies. And then I'm going to add in my other veggies, my quinoa, some water. Yeah, we're just gonna let it do its thing. All right. I failed to mention I'm using some coconut oil, maybe about 3 heaping tablespoons of coconut oil, and 2 tablespoons of sesame seed oil, and a little bit of avocado oil. I'm keeping the heat under 400 degrees because if you overheat coconut oil, it's not as healthy for you. Once um, coconut oil, once it's heated past a certain point, it's not as healthy for you. It loses all of its health, its benefits. So that's why if you guys are on Dr. Sebi's list, he actually recommends that you don't cook with it at all. But if you do choose to, I say keep your flame at a medium. Okay. To be honest with this particular meal, in fact, any of the meals, these are just suggestions. You definitely want your food to be healthier, but I also want it to be flavorful. So season it with some of your favorite seasonings. Because we're not using a bouillon cube, I strongly recommend anytime you're making a stew or a soup at home that you put your onions. If you want to use garlic, go for it. I'm not using garlic. I'm trying to make this as alkaline as possible. So your garlic, your onions, your ginger, whatever you want to put in there as your base. And then you want to pile on the seasonings. Preferably sea salt. That's your better sodium choice. But if you have some other seasonings that you prefer to use that you just love so much, throw those in. No bouillon. And then we're going to add maybe about 6 cups of water to this. Now, you might want to play it by ear. I want mine more loose, more soupy. If you want yours more chunky, don't put as much water. Maybe cut it by half. So the water went in, and if you're like me and you get a lot of that, once everything's sauteing, really try to scrape the bottom, get all those flavors from off the bottom. We need that. incorporate that. And then also give it a taste. The only thing that should be in here is your butternut squash, and of course your onions. You can put peppers in there if you choose. I didn't put any red peppers or green peppers. And also you can taste it, see if it needs anything extra. If so, add it. If not, don't. If you're not using butternut squash and you're just using potatoes, whatever, just, you know, make sure the broth that we just kind of created is, you know, flavoring well. It's coming together well. All right. We're going to let this go ahead and cook up on its own. When it begins to boil a little bit, a slight boil, we're going to add the rest of our veggies. And then we're going to cover it and let it cook for 15 minutes on medium heat. And then put in vegetables. Now, I put two 16.9 bottles of spring water in here already. I may add one more bottle of spring water. Yep, that achote powder really gives it a red color. If you ever just want that dark red color, go for the achote. But yeah, gonna let this baby do its thing. Add another bottle of water and some, maybe a 1/4 cup of coconut sugar, and that's it. Oh no, the quinoa. My quinoa was pre-cooked. 1 cup of quinoa to 2 cups of spring water. You don't have to pre-cook it. You can put it in there with the and saute it with your butternut squash at first. Then go ahead and add the water and the veggies the same way I did it. Or do like I did it, have it already cooked and mix it on in.